Good morning. I'm talking to you from Valley of the Gods in southeast Utah, and it's a beautiful morning here. The sun is just starting to peak above the horizon. That's over there behind me, and it's a beautiful fall morning. See, we've got this wonderful fall foliage. So what I'm set up for here is I've selected a vantage point where I have this really interesting color, fall color in the foreground with a couple of the monuments off in the distance. I'm using a setup here on my camera, which is the Benro filter system. And you'll notice that I've got two filters in here. They're graduated neutral density filters so that they bring the sky down so that the sky isn't as bright. So I capture more color and texture in the sky. I have selected a 4-stop and a 5-stop soft graduated neutral density filter. And notice that I feathered the one back just a little bit while I'm shooting, and I do that so that the transition in the horizon isn't as abrupt. And I'll show you that when I post-process this image and develop it. One of the things that a lot of beginners do, the problem that they have is they put the filters in too far. And when they do that, if I slide this in, did you see how it darkened down in the image itself? So you don't want to do that. You only want to affect the sky. So I've got these up quite a ways. Notice that they are sticking up quite a ways, and I'm not down in the filter holder too far. Most students that I see when they begin, they put these things all the way down in, and that's just too far because now I'm filtering down into the image in here where I don't want to filter. So I need to make sure that these filters are up a little higher, that I'm only affecting the sky area and not the foreground, which I don't want to have filtered. My exposure, I'm riding over just a little bit, about 2/3 of a stop over. I have to be careful because that distance will blow out if I run it up too high. So I'm only about 2/3 of a stop over. I favor overexposure, and I will bring that the exposure down in post-process to get the final effect. Here we have the original image as if it was shot with no filter. Watch how it transitions with the filters in place. It has darkened down the sky and created some really nice color and texture to the sky and added another dimension. I'd like to also add that while I was using two graduated neutral density filters, a 4-stop and a 5-stop, one would say that's a lot of neutral density, a total of 9 stops, because of the way that I use them, because they're not very far down into the holder, hence not very far in the image. I'm only using a very small part of that, what would be a total of 9 stops if I had them far into the image, but I feather them in and only use the first part of the gradient, so I'm only effectively using perhaps 2 or 3 stops. I hope I've increased your understanding on the proper use of graduated neutral density filters for landscape photography. Have fun, keep shooting, and hope you have good light.